we're human beings, and we have feelings and we have emotions just as everybody else. Even though we're Christians and children of God, we have. You guys already know where
I know.
you know where I'm going with this. But we Christian guys have sexual urges too. Let's be honest. Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Rika Girly Speaks. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more spiritual and psychological tips to make life a bit easier and better. So here with me, I have two amazing church members. Yes, we've been planning this for a while, but they're both really busy. However, I'm glad that they were able to make it today. So I'm just going to let them introduce themselves first. We'll start with my right.
Hi, I'm Joseph Fortuna. I live here in Sunderland and I'm 24 years old. In church, I currently lead the music ministry and the young adults home ministry that we have.
Yeah, he has an amazing voice. You guys should hear him sing.
Amen to that. Are you singing this weekend? But no, but yeah, sorry. To your left, I'm David. I'm not actually from Sunderland. I'm from down in Stoke. Just up here for the year on placement. But in terms of church, I sort of focus myself more on limited youth bits. But in the summer, a lot of the Aberdeen camps, I'm usually there helping out in some capacity, and I absolutely love them. So yeah.
Oh, that's so great. Thank you guys so much for being here. They're both in amazing relationships. Yeah.
We'd like you to believe that.
Oh my gosh. And they're both Christians, to be more specific, Seventh-day Adventist young men. And that's why they're the best for this topic today. So we're going to be talking about, it's going to be a very interesting topic, guys. It's going to be juicy. You're going to learn a lot of things. Yeah, guys, let's go right into it. Questions that no one dares to really ask Christian guys or SDA guys, to be specific. So just diving right into it. Let's just start with the first question. So I really want to know, Joseph and David, because a lot of Christian guys or a lot of SDA guys tend to date outside the church, and I don't really know why that is the case. So I just really wonder, what attracts Christian guys to ladies? What are they really looking for that they're not able to find in the church? What really attracts Christian men to a lady? What's the first thing that attracts you to a lady? I'll start with David.
Okay. I'm going to do the second part of that question first, as a broader subject. Yeah. Me and some of the lads, actually from Aberdeen, but also from other places, we all came to a similar saying, which was, looks gets you through the door, and then personality keeps you there.
Word.
So yeah.
Word. Okay. So looks, that's the first thing that you're attracted to when you see a lady.
Yeah.
So does that mean that a lot of SDA ladies are not, no, I'm just joking.
I'm not going to answer that.
How about you, Joseph? What do you think?
Adventist women are beautiful.
Oh,
no, I have to agree. I do have to agree.
So do you agree with what David says? Looks first?
Yeah, actually, that was the first thing that came to my head. Because when you look at someone, you look at their outward appearance.
Yeah, you don't look at how they're inside.
True, yeah. That's true.
But disclaimer, it's just initial attraction.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's what gets you to go over there and say something to them.
Yeah.
It won't keep you there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, personally, with the looks, it's the smile, really. If a girl
smile, are you guys listening?
Not smiley, it might appear less attractive to me.
Smile more, ladies. Yeah.
I have to agree. Someone that's happy is always better to be around.
Wow. Okay, that's nice. Second question. Okay, since we're talking about what attracts you, let's talk about the opposite. What is a huge turn off when you see? I'm gonna start with Joseph.
Oh man.
Yeah, this one is big. It's not in any way to insult anyone or for anyone to be offended. We're just being honest and real because we're humans, and there are things that turn us off naturally. So with ladies, what could be a turn turn off for you? Let's say a lady likes you, but you know, you're just really not feeling her. Like, what could be the reason?
I think the two obvious ones, this is actually going to go back to a quote which I agree with my dad years ago when it comes to dating, which is dating is trying, which is a bit of a random quote when you take it out of context, but when you're trying to date, you're trying to try with that other person, and so a lot of it's actually effort, and so but therefore the lack of effort. Well, I mean, you're not going to get very far, so it doesn't really appeal. That can be in texts or in person, either or. Don't get me wrong, I have my off texting days. I mean, I'm not perfect, but you want some consistency of effort in there.
Yeah, like some ladies who are just like, oh, how are you? Fine. How was your day? Good.
Yeah, you want
just like one word
give me something.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so that's a turn off. How about you, Joseph?
Okay.
Joseph is still thinking.
Yeah. Personally, it's a hard question.
It is.
It is.
Yeah.
So this is not a deal breaker, by the way. So it's not something that you see and then you'll be like, okay, I'm gonna end this with this person.
Okay.
But what I would think of is pride, because I think pride is hard to deal with, and so I'm gonna go into a little bit of my personal journey with God.
Okay.
Before I known Christ, I was a prideful person, and then when I came to know Him, He revealed to me how pride is destructive, how it's corruptive, and even before those like bad ends happen, you can see the negative effects that it has, and it will happen, you know. So when I see that in a woman, it's kind of putting me off.
No, I can understand that.
Yeah, I understand
but
that.
also, I guess the deal breaker would be someone who is, I guess, I don't know what to call it, like hard-headed, or someone
Stubborn.
who doesn't listen. Stubborn, yeah.
That's stubborn.
Someone who doesn't want to. I'm more particular, someone who doesn't want to grow.
To learn, yeah.
That's why I said that pride is not a deal breaker, because someone who is proud can change, you know.
Yes,
but if
that's
someone
true.
is just fixed, like, oh, I'm this person, this is who I am, and I'm not gonna change. That's difficult to deal with.
Yeah, I agree.
And it goes both ways, not
It goes
just
both ways.
on her part, but also on my part.
Definitely.
No, I agree.
I agree with that. That's a very good point. Wow.
Can I jump a second answer into this as well? It's just come to my head. Ironically, it's actually someone that's too dependent on you in a way. Like the main reason I say this is this is more when I'm at Aberdeen or when I'm at work, whatever. I don't get me wrong, I love attention from my other half, that's brilliant. But there can be such things as almost too much. And it's like, I want them to have their own life as well as just chatting to me and enjoying their time with me. That makes sense.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm really learning from this, guys. Thank you. When you're dating to marry, which is courtship, let's just call it courtship. Yes. What do you think should be the average duration? Because I've seen people who are engaged for like more than 2 years.
Oh, yeah,
and they're still not married. You know, I don't know. I feel like it's long for 2 years, you know, but I don't know. I just want to get your take. Maybe it's just ladies that feel like it shouldn't take too long after being engaged to get married. I don't know. So I want to get you guys' perspective. What should be the average duration during courtship? Or after being engaged, after you said, oh, will you marry me? And then she wears a ring and everything. Like, how long after that should you get married?
After being engaged? I thought this was like, is this including the dating period as well, or?
I think we should divide it into two.
Okay,
yes.
I'm happy to do that.
So let's talk about the dating period first, before getting engaged, and then after being engaged, before getting married.
And so I think I'm going to have two very different answers for that. I think the dating bit, to an extent, it's as long or as little as you feel. I mean, there's some people back in the church in Stoke where they were dating for 8 years before he proposed to her. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're married and have 3 kids, and that was brilliant. But
That's
but
long.
8 years is a long time.
8 years is long.
But then at the other scale, I think realistically it's a few years because it's long enough to know them in and out to an extent.
Yeah.
And then also you'll know their habits, which is good for when you actually live with them.
Maybe like a couple of years.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
maybe 3, 4.
3, 4. Okay.
Yeah.
And then after proposing. Sounds a bit tough. Just to add to that, I've seen people who dated for just 6 months, and the guy proposed and they got married and it worked out. Yeah. So it's not like there's a one way. It's just our opinion of what we think.
Each relationship's individual. You treat it as you see fit.
Exactly.
But no, for after you've actually sealed the deal, as it were, maybe in my head I wouldn't want it to be longer than a year.
Yeah, I agree. I actually agree with that. After you said yes, she said yes. So, I mean, what else? But yeah, I want to get your perspective also, Joseph.
So before engagement, I agree with David. I think it almost kind of depends on how you know each other. So you really take your time in getting to know each other. The time that you spend together, what you do there is very important.
Yeah.
But it's usually the case is that the guy is expected, right?
There's some pressure on that.
Yeah, it's usually the guy. It's on you guys, You make the moves,
But then after engagement, it should be both, right? So whether it takes years or months, or even weeks.
Man, honestly,
really, I'm very new to relationships. But yeah, however long it takes, it's a decision of both parties.
Oh, definitely.
Okay, even after saying I do. Yes, after saying yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And before engagement, there's more pressure to the guy, but I think after it has to be both. It has to be both.
Both of them. Yeah. All right, that's fine. Okay, so the reason why I asked this question first is because it takes me to my next question. Yeah. Okay. Now here's the challenge with long or super long relationships, because we're human beings, and we have feelings and we have emotions just as everybody else. Even though we're Christians and children of God, we have. You guys already know where I'm going. You know where I'm going with this. But Christian guys have sexual urges too. Let's be honest. Yes. Yeah, exactly. And the longer you take in a relationship with someone, the stronger the emotions. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the harder it is to maintain purity, as we Christians preach. Yeah. So I think that's my challenge with long relationships. Because I feel like the longer it is, the harder it gets. That's what I feel.
No, that's fair.
So if you're in a long relationship, I've not actually asked you guys how long your relationships were, but if you're in a long relationship as Christian men, how do you deal with these sexual urges? How do you deal with the emotions and the feelings? How do you maintain sexual purity with a lady that you're so attracted to and you love and you have feelings for, and you guys are dating and you know that, okay, this is someone I want to be with, I want to marry, but you're not yet married. So how do you deal with that? I would really love to learn, because it's hard out here in the streets, It's hard for everyone, even ladies. So I want to get a male's perspective on this. Yeah. I
mean, the simple answer is difficultly. let's not try and get it twisted.
Let's be raw. Let's be raw now. Okay.
Yeah. Now I'm going to take a slight, maybe on a slight tangent. I remember having this discussion when I was at Loughborough Church. I go to Leicester Uni. I know. But which meant I went to Loughborough Church. And we had a similar discussion at one point. And one of the questions was asked us, what do you count as purity in this sense?
That's also a big question.
Because where you draw that line can make it easier or worse, but it also then unlocks a whole different box of temptations at the same time. Because if you say that sex is off bounds, fair
everything
enough,
else, yeah.
but everything else
It's
might not
okay.
be,
Exactly.
then it's like, well, you're already halfway there. You're going to be
Right?
tempted to be like, oh,
Just
let's get it on.
Yeah. Yes.
Which can be difficult.
Yeah. That's really true. This is a big question, you guys. It's really big, and I think we don't talk about it enough.
Oh no, not in church. No.
We don't, and that's part of the problem, I feel, because many people go into relationships and they don't really know how to deal with situations like that. They just know, okay, the church teaches us don't do this, don't do that. That's it. It's not that easy, you know. So, like, how, Joseph? What do you think? Like,
there are a lot of like subtopics.
Oh, there are, aren't there?
But one thing that I can think of right now is, I guess the difficulty here, since we're all in a common area of the world here in the UK, is the culture.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
The culture can sometimes lead us to compromise to the culture, you know.
Yes.
But we also see as Christians, you know, as Adventists, that we have our own culture, you know, the culture of Jesus that he promotes, and that's what struck me. And this also leading to an important point for Christian men, since I'm only sharing from the perspective of men.
Yes.
Is okay. First thing, a pastor told me.
Yeah, go for it. Yes, I can smooth with that, yeah. Smooth.
Which I'm thankful for, guys.
Yeah.
By the way, it's very important that we have accountability with
that's
either pastors or someone who we respect spiritually, who we look up to, who we can trust, you know, to talk about these kind of things.
Yes.
Because surely we will definitely get wisdom from them, especially from their experience. So when you know that they've experienced it, the tendency for young people like us
right?
is we will say, oh, it's a different situation. I'm different, he's different.
Yeah.
But we're all humans, and you know, it's usually the same temptations that we come across. Pastor told me because he has come across his attention that culture is sort of one of the gateway of Satan to allow the violation of, I guess, purity, you know, within relationships. Is although we have cultures, we have our own upbringing, whether you're from the West or from the East meaning more conservative. We have a culture that we learn from the Bible, and this the culture of Jesus, and we ought to abide in that, to conform our minds in that, whether we're there already or not. It has to be our standard at the very least, you know, as a starting point. Because when we start to I guess justify you know, the things that we do, that's where it becomes very difficult.
Yes.
Especially in practice.
Oh yeah. It's easy to say but hard to do. Yeah.
Very difficult. That's why I appreciate my spiritual mentors or people who reached out to me when the moment they knew that I was in a relationship. In the beginning of the relationship,
awesome.
they're the ones who was like, you have to talk to me about what's happening and that. And at first I was hesitant actually because it's private, like
I agree.
But later on I realized, I think I really need some advice, and it has helped me.
Yeah, I agree. That's a very good point.
Ironically, I think one of the reasons that you put against actually trying to go further, like actually getting it on or whatever, is, if we're totally honest, the church, although there's a lot of us, realistically there's not that many of us at the same time, and the chances are that if you do that and you break up with that woman, you might see her again at church, and then it's going to be like,
the shame.
It's going to be really bad. And the
Yeah.
other one, which is obviously I can't say names like you're saying there, but there are stories that have been told before now where people have tried to push the boundaries a bit, shall we call it, potentially gone a bit far, and then obviously the woman's like, is that all you're here for, sort of thing, and then all of a sudden they've lost the woman,
That's
and that's the worst scenario, really,
Mm-hmm.
because she could be brilliant,
Oh.
and then it's not looking so hot for you.
Yeah, yeah. I love the fact that you mentioned boundaries. Boundaries are really important, and
Yeah.
couples need to talk about it. I feel like a lot of people don't actually address it. Like, you can actually list it out, you know? We can do this, 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 this. You can't do this, this, this. And you guys need to know your weaknesses, your strengths, and then, know how to work around that. But yeah, these are really, really good points. Thank you, guys. There's this idea that Christian ladies have. I'm exposing the ladies now.
No. This is knowledge. We like this. Amen.
I just need to ask this. I'm sorry, I didn't plan to add this, but I just need to, because a lot of Adventist ladies or Christian ladies believe that Christian men, or specifically Seventh-day Adventist men, don't know how to approach a lady, or don't know how to like, hit on a girl, or try to, ask a girl out and things like that. Because I guess we're being very churchy or whatever, and it's not it's not cool. It's like yeah. So there's this idea that Seventh-day Adventist men are kind of suck at getting ladies, and that's why a lot of Christian ladies tend to prefer guys on the outside the church. Yeah. So what do you guys? I don't know. What do you guys think? Why is it that way? Or do you agree that it's like that, or do you disagree? And if yes, why? Why do you think Christian guys don't really know how to approach ladies?
I'm going to be honest. I think it actually runs both ways at times. Don't get me wrong. I think lads, generally speaking, are less capable. But I'll be honest. But there are also some ladies who are also not very good at the same time.
Yeah, that's true too.
But I suppose because there's less repercussions if you mess something up when trying to court someone outside the church.
Oh yeah.
Then I suppose that makes it a bit easier, because obviously if you, like I said, if you try for girl A in the church and she happens to know B, C, and D, and then all of a sudden, if it goes wrong, then they're going to know that you tried for her, and that takes a lot of your options off the board.
That's true.
Which isn't ideal.
That's true. Do you feel like also Adventist men don't really know how to, because they're not taught how to? Yeah, I think that's just like we don't really teach. We talk about everything else.
And I blame it on the parents.
Yeah,
Just kidding.
No, but
by the way, I'm not a boy Adventist. I actually don't know what's happening.
Okay, but yeah, I think guys could, work a little bit more on their moves, just putting it out there. Not for you guys are taken already, so you're okay. But guys out there who are looking to get into a relationship, you can maybe work on that. And ladies too. It's not a one-way thing. So yeah.
I mean, I have to confess, because in my experience, I actually was very terrible at it.
Confession.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry, I've been bad in the past.
But one of my reasons was because my current girlfriend came at a time in my life when I was really focused on God. So and you see a lot of Adventist men, not all, that are so busy with ministry. For me, in my perspective, it was I didn't see at first that it was something that I need to do or entertain at the very least. So but I'm sure it's not always the case. But so the girls sometimes play a part, in approaching if they really want to.
Yes.
And the guys as well. But that's just from my experience. There are guys that are, from what I learned from aunties and uncles from church, the guys that are usually more focused on ministry are the guys that are that women are more like attracted towards.
Oh yeah, women want a responsible spiritual man.
They want those pastor candidates.
Yeah, they do.
Men,
but at the same time, those pastors don't know how to approach. A lot of guys, some guys have come to me and they're just like, "Oh, God told me to marry you," just like that. Just coming. I'm serious.
Yeah.
Like I don't have any sort of relationship with them. We're not friends or anything, and they just come and they're like, God told me to marry you.
It's a bad opening line, isn't it, really?
It's very bad.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But it's sweet if it actually works out,
Oh, no, them. You can't come like that. It's scary. You know the girl's gonna run away.
Well, naturally,
It's too scary. It's too.
It's because I knew the story of an elder from our church, and her love story is sort of like that actually.
Really?
But it was on both sides. They were both praying for it, but they didn't know each other.
That one is better if they both got it.
So
at
when
the
they
same
first saw each other,
time. Wow.
and the guy was like, they sort of knew what was happening
Okay.
at their first meeting, and the guy was like, "I'm gonna take it."
Oh, that's
sort of
amazing.
That way,
Yeah.
which
Okay,
is
yeah,
like
that happens
magical.
too. But, oh, yeah, exactly. But it's rare. That kind of situation is
Oh, the
not
confidence he must have felt that day.
Right?
Oh,
common. So yeah, please work on your game, Adventist men and ladies, mostly the men, because yeah. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. You guys have anything else that you'd like to say?
I was going to jump another point onto this last one. I think it's actually a way that some people are taught to get into relationships in the church, which is not to know nothing about them and then go all out.
Yes.
But it's more the opposite of they're taught to become friendly with them, which is good if you get into a relationship because chances are it'll last, which is how it happened with me and my girlfriend.
Tips.
And actually the one before that. But
It's true.
But yeah.
Yeah, a lady is more willing to date you if she already has, you know, a friendship or, you know,
or at
is
least
comfortable.
knows you somewhat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I agree. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Amen, brother.
Thank you so much, Joseph. Thank you so much, David, for being
Thank you.
here. I had a
Cheers.
wonderful time with you. I learned a lot, trust me. And I'm sure that the viewers did too. So you guys, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and share with someone. Save a brother or a sister out there. And just have a wonderful day. God bless you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.